All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us for PopYS Live. Janae, shall I pull up these slides here and we can do some introductions?
Absolutely.
Yay. And am I still sharing? I am, right? You guys are seeing the iREAD Summer 2024 preview?
Yes, we are
All right.
opening slides. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Hopefully, you have a yummy beverage and you're just sitting and relaxing. Welcome to the iRead Summer 2024 preview. With me today, we have Becca Boland, the iRead Content Development Manager, and Tina Kaliba. She is the iRead Operations Manager. We are going to share with you the new theme, which is Read, Renew, Repeat. And I don't know if you can see my shirt, but this is one of the graphics, one of the shirts that you can get from the iRead store. Super cool. There's little bats that hold up the sign read. So super cute, super fun. I thought I'd wear it today in honor of the new theme. This slide here, you guys know me. If you don't know who I am, my name is Janae Jackson Doring. I'm the Youth Services Consultant for the State Library of Iowa. There's my contact information. Please reach out. Please feel free to contact me for any youth-related questions, concerns. If you'd like me to come to tour your library and conduct a library visit, I bring books. I bring a ton of books with me. So please feel free to reach out. I'm friendly. I'm fun. Please let me know what you need and I can assist you. And so what's our plan today? Our plan, our lovely presenters are going to share with us the general introduction to the 2024 theme, Read, Renew, Repeat. There will be some time to have an opportunity to contribute to the 2025 resource guide. There's be the presentation of the general theme, concept, and voting on the possible taglines for 2026. Yes, 2026. There'll be details shared about the iRead store, how to order, downloads to download the resource guide and graphics, deadline, shipping accounts, etc., and time for question and answers. And thank you, Sam. And really quickly, I just wanted to share some upcoming events. Oh, Sam, never mind. I guess Sam.
I
Sam,
didn't know if you wanted to save that for the end. Sorry, I am like
we can
down a
say,
screen here somehow. You want to do it now or at the end? Oh, and my camera's not even on. Hot
I,
mess. All right.
in the interest of time, I think we will save it for the end.
All right, we'll run through some of that stuff at the end. Tina, Becca, do you guys want to do some introductions and then we can share your video, or how do you want to do that?
That sounds great. Thank you so
All right.
much. Hi, Iowa. I'm so excited to be here. You all always come big and hard for summer reading, and we are so excited to see all of the amazing things you are going to do with 2024. Again, I'm Becca Boland. I'm the iRead Content and Development Manager. I think last time you saw me, I was still working in public libraries. So if you're like, hey, that person looks familiar, it's me, just in a different role. So I am now the full-time iRead person. So if you have any questions, if you want to do any brainstorming, if there's anything that you need, don't hesitate to reach out. We are happy to help you however we can. So yeah, we have on our end, we are going to show you a quick video. Not all of our chairs could be with us for the webinars, but we wanted to make sure that you had an opportunity to hear from them about their themes and kind of the development that went into them. And then we have some hopefully not too difficult asks of you all in terms of contributions to iRead, because iRead is only as good as the folks that use it and contribute to it. And we always get such amazing ideas from Iowa. So we're so excited for that. Tina is it, and then Tina is going to tell you a little bit about what she's going to go through with you. And then we'll have plenty of time for questions if there are any. And we'll make sure that we answer as many of those as we can.
Right, thanks, Becca, and welcome everyone. Thank you so much for having us today. As Becca mentioned, we are very excited at the attendance that we usually get for these webinars, which is great. We're hoping to answer all of your questions today. My name is Tina Koleva, and I probably have met most of you via phone or email. If you ever had any customer service questions, those are coming to me and Becca now, but I answer most of them that have to do with operations, anything that has to do with ordering, downloading the resource guide, questions about where my order is, and things like that. So I will demonstrate how you redeem the code and get your resource guide once the 2024 one is available. We'll go over those timelines as well at the end and answer any questions. Thank you.
Great. Are you guys ready to roll with that video then?
Yes, please.
That our next? All right. So let me make sure I do this right. Someone be prepared to chime in if you can hear the sound or not, okay? Counting on you. Here we go.
Hello, I'm Cindy Robinson, Executive Director of the Illinois Library Association. Thank you for joining us today for the 2024 iREAD Kickoff. Read, Renew, Repeat. iREAD is a flexible nonprofit summer reading program designed by librarians for librarians. While iREAD is a project of the Illinois Library Association, it is adopted in other states, including Alaska, California, Connecticut, Iowa, Maine, Massachusetts, Minnesota, Oregon, Rhode Island, and Washington, and is also worldwide by the Department of Defense libraries on military bases. iREAD is also implemented in thousands of individual libraries across the country. We're very excited to let you know what to expect in 2024, and we'll share a sneak peek on the 2025 and 2026 planning. Now I'm going to turn it over to Gretchen Schultz, the 2024 iREAD Chair.
Welcome to iREAD Summer Reading 2024, Read, Renew, Repeat. My name is Gretchen Schultz, and I am Chair of 2024. I'm a children's librarian and work at a public library in the suburbs of Chicago. I hope you're having a great conference so far. Thanks for spending some time with me today. We have been incredibly excited as a committee to see iREAD have a wider reach over the last year. We have seen libraries across the country and countries beyond, such as Australia, Bermuda, and New Zealand, adopting iREAD for their summer reading program. This exciting prospect invigorated us as we prepared Read, Renew, Repeat for 2024 summer with a worldwide theme in mind. We decided to focus on conservation for the first time ever due to the exciting perspective, programming, and awareness to our world's ecology the theme brings. Our mission statement is as follows. Designed for all ages, iREAD summer reading program will feature the idea of conservation. Conservation as a movement focuses on protecting species from extinction, maintaining and restoring habitats, enhancing ecosystem services, and protecting biological diversity. iREAD 2024 Read, Renew, Repeat makes for a wonderfully diversified summer reading program that encourages reading as a restorative method of self-improvement and self-preservation. We reached out to illustrators who we felt would help bring this theme to life. Our talented illustrators made a conscious effort to feature the art of animals who are considered in danger, vulnerable, or threatened, according to the World Wildlife Fund. Within their art, you will see moose, walruses, otters, monarch butterflies, parrots, and more. We are ecstatic to present this year's art to you. Holly Bradley, artist and illustrator, shows children cavorting in a local park, listening to stories, enjoying a little free library, picking up trash that can be recycled, and tending to plants. Her original illustrations engage and inspire children to be involved in their communities. Caldecott medalist and illustrator Jason Chen created original artwork for iREAD. His illustrations bring libraries and endangered species to brilliant, peaceful, and inviting life. Zoe Persico, illustrator extraordinaire, shows her love for the wild, the wondrous, and the whimsical through her captivating and original illustration of the forest wilderness and their endangered species. James Stanley, artist and illustrator, his original art uses expressive lines to bring to life a group of people interacting with endangered species and enhancing and enjoying the environment they live in. The website will have merchandise up to purchase soon. Until then, the catalog is available to view. Here is a sneak peek at some of the items that we think will be of high interest. You'll see our featured t-shirt as being worn on an adult with Holly Bradley's art. For teens and adults, we have a reusable bamboo stem water bottle with strainer. And for kids, a crab headband craft kit. Well, it doesn't just have to be for kids. Here are some of the bookmarks available. You will see that you can purchase in English only or bilingual. Our resource guide co-chairs, Emily and Lauren, worked diligently and passionately with their team, the Resource Guide Task Force, to present to you this comprehensive guide. Within it, you will find impeccably organized and arranged on theme decorating ideas, book lists, social media posts, programming for all ages, and more. I hope you will enjoy the strategic planning and thoughtfulness that went into organizing the submissions we received from passionate library workers throughout the world. And thank you to all who contributed. Please enjoy some images of the spot art that will be available to you. The spot art can be used at your pleasure for any marketing need you may have. At my library, we plan to use some of these images as badges for children to earn throughout their summer reading challenge. On the top two left, you'll see Jason Chin's artwork. The top two right, you'll see Holly Bradley. The bottom left two, you'll see James Stanley. And on the bottom right, the two that are there, you'll see are Zoe Persicles. We are looking forward to seeing how you all interpret and implement the theme that we have nurtured and brought to life until this point. Please share with us along your planning journey. We're on Facebook or Twitter. I shall leave you with our PSA for 2024. Thanks for spending some time with me. I hope you have a great rest of your conference. Sorry my throat's a little tickly. I've got some kind of cold that's been going around. Have fun with Read, Renew, Repeat. Can't wait to see what you guys do with it. And feel free to reach out to me personally or to ILA iREAD as a whole. We're here to support you. Have a great one. Bye.
Did you like the book?
I didn't finish it.
Oh, I can renew it for you. Here you go. Enjoy. See you again soon.
Thank you. See you next week. Have you signed up for summer reading? Of course I did. I sign up every year.
Read, renew, repeat this summer at your library with reading programs for children, teens, and adults.
Howdy, y'all. My name is Maisie, and I am a teen librarian in the Chicago suburbs, and I'm also the chair for our 2025 theme, Level Up at Your Library. Before we dive into some of the fun news about 2025, I wanted to share the mission statement for the year. Play is one of the ways we learn to relate to others, to think in new ways, and to foster friendships, new and old. Level Up at Your Library is an all-ages summer reading program based around puzzles and games. Whether you're playing with STEM concepts or gamifying your reading logs, learning to play chess, or how to code video games, iREAD 2025 Level Up at Your Library reminds us that libraries are not just a space for knowledge, they are a space for fun. Bearing that in mind, we have some amazing artists lined up for this year that I would love to talk to y'all about. First up, we have Ruth Chan. We will be using some of her truly adorable art from Have You Seen Gordon, which is a comedic puzzle book similar to Where's Waldo, but with a lot more humor. Ruth's art is cute, colorful, and hilarious. Gordon will actually be our spokes critter for 2025, and we're really excited to have him representing us. He is basically the cutest. We'll also be featuring art from the amazing Ogamora, who has received a Caldecott Honor, the John Steptoe New Talent Award, and the Ezra Jax Keats Book Award for her book, Thank you, Omu. We'll be featuring some of her art from her recently released book, I'm From, with Gary R. Gray Jr., which captures that celebration that comes with play and community. Her art is also just so joyful and engaging and amazing. Next up, we have Carrie Peach. Carrie is currently adapting the Adventure Zone podcast series into graphic novels. Her work is full of motion and magic, and her Dungeons and Dragons inspired art is sure to delight. As a teen librarian, I know at my library I have so many teens who are all D&D all the time, and I think Carrie's art will be a great way to get them excited about summer reading. And last but certainly not least, we have Vanessa Brantley Newton. Vanessa is the illustrator of picture books and so much more. Her work combines retro colors with bold shapes to create an atmosphere of joy and fun with a nice sprinkling of nostalgia. Her art is honestly just brilliant, and I am deeply obsessed with it. All right. I do want to take a quick moment to talk to y'all about the resource guide. The resource guide is really the heart of the program. It's usually around 300 pages and full of so many amazing resources for decorations, programs, story times, and more. I cannot overstate how many times this guide has bailed me out when I've hit that program burnout and I can't think of another idea. And because iREAD is built by librarians for librarians, the resource guide is also created by librarians. If you're interested in getting involved with iREAD, the guide is such a fun thing to be a part of. We have a task force that helps create every chapter and make sure they're full of helpful hints for every age group. And we also have the option to submit your own pre-made programs and resources for our guide. It's perfect if you have already planned a perfect story time or nailed an adult craft. Why reinvent that wheel? Share those resources and share that success with others. And it's also such a great resume booster. It's open to people kind of all skill levels. So even if you're not a librarian yet, but you work in a lot of those capacities, it's a great way to build up that resume. All right, that's it for me. Now I'm going to hand it over to the lovely Ellen to talk to y'all about 2026. Thanks.
Hi, my name's Ellen Fitzgerald. I'm a Children's Services Supervisor at the Naperville Public Library, and I'm your 2026 iREAD Chair. Today, I'm here to share with you our exciting broad theme for 2026. It is Farm to Table. A little history on how we came up with this theme. We were really racking our brains, and we love the idea of food, and we really like the idea of agriculture and farms. You can do so much with farms, adorable animals, tractors, all that neat stuff, which I know would be great for our children's programs. We also really love the idea of food and how it can bridge cultures, and it really connects people. And then we came to the conclusion that we could do both, and it would be even more inclusive, and we give so many more options to all of our libraries and all of our partners. And we know that many of the libraries that we work with are already going to farmers markets, and they have gardens at their library. So this was really something we thought would have a broad appeal. And today we are going to be looking at our taglines. Some of the criteria that we use when we are coming up with our broad theme and our tagline are that it needs to be universal in promoting reading. It needs to be focused in interpretation. It needs to be dynamic and apply action. It needs to be appropriate for all genders and all ages. It needs to include the word book, read, or library. And it needs to really lend itself to a strong graphic interpretation. Some of our excellent themes and taglines from previous years included dig deeper, read, investigate, discover, have book, will travel, and read beyond the beaten path. So today I have a favor to ask. Can you help us come up with our 2026 tagline? I have a Padlet, and I'm gonna need you guys to vote. We came up with a whole bunch of different tagline ideas. They're all really, really great. But we want your voice to be part of this decision. And just like we're so excited that you're our partners, we want you guys to have some say in what our 2026 tagline is. So please go ahead and click on this link and vote for one option on the Padlet, so we can come up together with our 2026 tagline. Thank you so much for helping us out with this. And I'm super excited about 2026 and working with you all in the future. Have a wonderful day, and I can't wait to see you in 2026.
Hello, I'm Cindy Robinson, Executive Director of the Illinois Library.
And that took us back to the beginning. What a lot of fun that is. Can I just say, for 2026, I am so rooting for Barn to Read.
I feel like that one, the nuance of that particular tagline is lost unless you say it aloud.
Oh yeah,
Like when you read it, it doesn't strike you in quite the same way as when you hear Barn to Read. I don't know. I think it's very funny. That's right. That's right.
There are so many great ones there. If you're watching, how long is this Padlet up?
So we still have some time. So we are you all are one of our first state webinars. So we want to make sure that all of our state partners have the opportunity to vote. And then I'm going to throw it in the newsletter for a week. Just to give general feedback for our folks that use it that aren't necessarily state partners. Because we do have at least one library in 43 states that use us. So we want everybody's voice to be heard. Yeah, please. And if you all want to share it out with your members, please feel free to do that. I know that not everybody could make the webinar. So
if you're watching the recording, maybe check out a recent newsletter, either from the State Libraries Youth Services team or the iREAD newsletter for that link.
Right. And if worse comes to worse, you can always email us and just be like, I cannot find that Padlet. Can you send it my way? And we would be happy.
I would really like to vote twice for Barn to Read.
I know. But we do ask, we are from Chicago, but we do ask that you only vote once, please. And thank you.
Vote early, vote often.
No, not for iREAD.
Okay, that's just for your city council. Hitting all
just
around
for
jokes.
Mayoral elections, that's all.
And then also for those on the recording, you can find that call for submissions for the summer 2025 resource guide. That is on the iREAD website. So head to iReadprogram.org and you should be able to sleuth out the call for resource guide submissions.
I also threw that link in the chat. I know that that doesn't apply to the folks that are watching a recording. But yeah, if you go to the general program page, you should see a tab in the sidebar for 2025, and that'll take you where you need to go.
Okay, cool. Well, what does that bring us to on the agenda?
So Tina is going to talk a little bit about when you do have access to that resource guide, how you can download it easily and efficiently. And then I'm going to come back after Tina goes over that with you all to talk about the resource guide one more time. And then we're going to open to questions. So Tina, take it away.
All right, thanks everyone. So yes, we're expecting the resource guide to be ready in early November. You will get a notification via the iREAD newsletter, but you will also get the most important notification that you'll be looking for will be from the state library. And that email will contain all the information, the steps, the special link that you have to use to download your resource guide, and a redeemable code. So what I'm going to do today is show you those steps with a different resource guide, but just disregard the year of the resource guide. The steps will be the same for the one that you will receive for 2024. So we'll just go over the steps of once you receive that email with the information, where do you go from there? So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Again, for those who have used iREAD in previous years, nothing has changed. The steps are exactly the same. It's just a new resource guide every year. But for those that are new, this will be something that you want to follow along. And again, anything that you may need help with, don't hesitate to email us. Both Becca and I get that email, and we'll be happy to answer any questions while we are trying to plan for summer reading or download the resource guide. So I have pretended here to send that email to myself, same thing that you'll receive. And the first step will be, there will be a special link that you want to get to in order to redeem your code for the resource guide. Now, although that link opens up in a second, I think my internet is a bit slow since we're on video. Let's try that again. Okay, here we go. So although that link does take you to a page that looks exactly like the regular iRead page, you do want to make sure that you're using that link, because you'll see at the top, it tells you that you do need to sign in order to redeem a code. So it does look like the same page, but in fact, it's something that will direct you to where you can redeem the code and download the resource guide. For those that already have an account, you will simply sign in. And if you don't have one, you just scroll down and create an account. So I'll go ahead and sign in. And once I do that, it directly takes me to that redemption promo code page. I will go back to the email, and the second step is you will have a code here that's designated specifically for your state. You can copy and paste code directly into this bar and then click on redeem. And that's how easy it is to actually redeem your code and get the resource guide. Once you have gone through these first two steps, the resource guide is yours. It's already linked to your email address and it's already into your account, and a confirmation is right away sent to your email that tells you that you have redeemed the code and gotten the resource guide. So even if you down the road lose that email, or you have downloaded the resource guide and for some reason you don't have access to that computer, you don't have to repeat the first two steps, because the resource guide, it's already in your account. And if you have questions of how to access that down the road, you can always email us and I'll walk you through it. There's various ways of how to access it. So then once you get to the confirmation screen after redeeming the code, you have two parts to the resource guide. Download part 1 contains all of the content of the resource guide, those 300 pages that our chairs talked about, that contain all the programming, marketing resources, crafts, decoration, bibliographies. And then download part 2 has all the graphics. Now, although in download part 1, there is a preview PDF of the graphics where you can see all the graphics in one spot, you have to make sure that you download the second part that contains the actual graphics in the various formats that you can use for your programming or marketing materials. Usually download part 2 takes a bit longer because those files are larger, so I do recommend downloading them separately. Once the download part 1 is finished, then you can move on to the download part 2 and wait for it to be downloaded in its entirety before you actually start clicking and trying to open certain files, because if you start opening files, that may actually interrupt the download and you end up with just partial folders and you don't have all the graphics. Now, if that happens for whatever reason, you can always go back to your email confirmation. So you'll receive an email from iREAD, and that email confirmation is letting you know that you have redeemed the code to access the resource guide. And then if you click on this link here from your receipt, it will automatically open up that confirmation screen where you can re-download the resource guide. So this will be one way of accessing again in case something happens to the computer, or you need to share the resource guide with a different department, for an example. So you want to make sure you add it to a flash drive or just re-download it again to a different computer. You are allowed to do that. However, you're not allowed to redeem the code more than once, because each redemption of the code basically counts towards purchasing the guide one more time. So you always want to make sure that you re-download it from your confirmation or from your account and not redeem the code again. I know I went over these really quickly, but we'll open up for questions and answers, and you can ask us anything at that point, whether it's content related or the steps for downloading the resource guides or anything that has to do with the website. Since we're on the website, I just want to quickly go over a few things. It is open right now, and you can view all of the items that we do have on the website. They're also sorted by different categories, as well as by the illustrators art that appears on the various items. We have a help page that goes into detail as to how you can place your orders, what is the copyright and fair use of iRead materials, and we have a page dedicated to frequently asked questions. Again, you can always search here by category to see if your question has already been answered here, but if not, don't hesitate to send us an email, and our email is listed over here. We respond within 24 hours, if not even faster, especially during the times when we know libraries are redeeming the code or ordering their items. We're on it. We don't let you hang there for unlimited time trying to figure out how to place your orders or redeem your code. I will turn it back over to see if there are any specific questions when it comes to the download or in general. Let me just stop sharing my screen.
Janae, are there any Iowa specific aspects to that download code you want to talk about?
That is a great question. So once we receive the information, the code from iREAD, I will send out a document that says exactly what Tina has explained on how to download the resource guide and the graphics. Every year, or at least since last year, I remember getting all those emails. How do I do it? How do I do it? How do I do it? I am more than happy to walk you through it and send you that email that explained just exactly what Tina explained to everyone today. So be looking for that in the next couple weeks.
And that goes to the email list that we maintain, that's the public library directors. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So it'll be sent to your public library director. So if it was not sent to you, you will need to check with your public library director to make sure they received it. And if they haven't received it, please contact me because I will get it to you ASAP.
Yeah, but we do want that code used once per library, correct?
Yes, correct.
So yeah, so email, it'll come to your director, and will you send something also to youth services listserv at that point then to say, hey, this went out to directors?
Yes.
We have some people that fill both shoes in some of our smaller libraries, but might not be the same person.
Yes, and I can share something on Library Talk too, just to say, hey, this information came out. Please have your public library director check their inbox. If you both didn't get it, please let me know and I will send it to you. And I'll make a note of that.
Yeah, fabulous. Very cool. I have a question while other people come up with questions. This might be more for Becca and Janae, but we already saw one person in the chat who said it's their first time planning summer reading program. So you get that manual in a couple weeks. You, veteran planner, what advice would you give to somebody who's downloading that resource guide for the first time and starting to plan summer for the first time? Where should they start?
You want me to go first?
I mean, yeah, why don't you go first, and then I'll chime in if I have any additional ideas or thoughts.
Someone gave me the very best advice when I started summer reading. Read the resource guide. And I know everybody's pressed for time. I get it. But when you really get a chance to read that resource guide, you're able to look at all of the cool ideas, cool plans that iREAD has put together. So my advice, print it out, grab some coffee, just take some time. I get cute highlighters and I just started reading and highlighting and making a list of, ooh, I want to try that program with my kids. Oh, I want to try this program with my teens. This looks sick. This is awesome. So really take the time, read the resource guide. It's going to help you as you plan and as you figure out things. I know sometimes you have Pinterest is also a great way to get ideas, but really start with the resource guide, read it, start to generate those ideas, and then go to Pinterest. Then ask other people for ideas. I hope that answers your question, Sam. Oh, you're muted.
Yes, that's awesome. Also, I just have been working on, you guys are the first people to see this. It's not very exciting, but I have started an iREAD Pinterest board. So I'm going to throw it into the chat. And I'm going to put that again, it's coming up in a forthcoming newsletter next week. So keep your eye out for that. Because, you know, the thing about the resource guide is it's big. Like, it's 300 plus pages, which is amazing, right? Like, there's amazing resources in there, but it is a little overwhelming. And you know what? I was just talking to another one of our state partners, Kim in Connecticut, and she was saying, like, we were going to talk a little bit about, you know, like, kind of talking to people. I'm so glad you brought this up, because we're going to talk a little bit, and I'd like to reach out to our other state partners as well to talk a little bit about, like, how do you approach it? Because it's a lot. There's so much information there. And, you know, we try our best to sort it by age groups. We try to mark it if it's something that can be passive or a make and take, so that it can kind of help to narrow it down. And maybe, like, you only do programming with teens, so you kind of flip over the kid stuff and you kind of flip over the other stuff, and focus on the teen stuff. But even there, like, there's just a wealth of information. So I agree, like, really carve out some time for you. Like, I don't know about y'all, but when I was in public libraries, December was always a pretty slow time in terms of, like, stuff happening in the library, and, like, early January. So that is the best time to, like, just carve out an hour or two a couple of times, to sit down and really go through. I like the person's idea, to, like, mark the ones that are really great. I like the idea of printing out the ones that you know you want to use and kind of leaving the other stuff.
Exactly.
The thing that I always say about the resource guide is, like, it's a guide, right? It's not a manual. Like, it's like getting a big bucket of Legos. So, like, you can use all of the Legos that are in there. You can just use the red Legos. You can use, you know, you can build whatever you want it to be. You know your communities better than anyone else does. So you're going to know the things that are going to appeal to them, the things that are going to engage them, the things that they're going to get excited about, and also the rest of the staff that you're planning summer reading with. You know, you can be like, I just saw this in the resource guide. What do you think? That might be good. Like, if you have one person that's dedicated to really going through that resource guide and kind of pushing things out to the different people who do different kind of programming or events or whatever the case may be. I agree, absolutely. I know a lot of people have said, like, it's really big and it's really overwhelming, and I get it, but, like, that's what we want for you all, right? Like, we want you to be able to pick and choose the things that work the best for you. And that also makes me want to say, our experience since we have started partnering with you all in Iowa is that you all are so great at sharing your ideas. And so I really, again, want to say, like, please contribute to the resource guide for 2025. We are so excited. Like, every year I'm like, I cannot get any more excited about a theme. And then we get something like games and puzzles, and I'm like, all right, well, I guess I can't get more excited. So I think there's going to be so many cool programming ideas. So if you've done one of those large scale you know, board games in your meeting room, or you've done really cool, like, little paper puzzles, or you've done, I don't even know what, please share those, because you know, then you're helping another librarian who's in the same place as you, like, maybe not physically in the same place, maybe not the same kind of library, maybe not the same size, but especially for like small libraries who are just like, they're trying to do their best with just a few staff members, putting really quality ideas into the resource guide helps them to have a program that's as beautiful and solid as the biggest library systems in your state. So I really, really wanted to hope and wish that you all will share some of those really, or if you have something that you've been wanting to do and you want to write up so that it's ready to go. And if you have any questions about contributing, why can't I say contributing? This is very weird. Contributing to the resource guide, don't hesitate to reach out. We're happy to answer any questions that you might have. And oh yeah, see, I'm not able to keep up with the chat, but I'm going to go through and read.
One specific question we did have was on additional languages.
Okay.
In addition to the Spanish, she specifically mentions French and Arabic.
So this is a question we get a lot. Because of all of the languages that are spoken in this country, it's really hard for us to get full translations of everything that might be needed. What we are adding this year to the resource guide is, in addition to the poster that's in English and bilingual, there's another poster that's blank. So if you have folks in your community that can do some translations for you, or on your staff, I highly recommend you pay them for that work. You can go ahead and adapt the resources that we've provided. And some of the other things, like I don't know if it was in the slideshow or not. I don't remember now. I've looked at these images so many times and I can't remember when and where. But we have kind of a macaw that has it's Jason Chin's art. It's a macaw that has a banner in its beak and it says read, renew, repeat. And there's also a blank one. So if we're trying to add, because we aren't necessarily able to translate into every possible language that libraries might need, we're trying to provide more resources so that if you get those translations for your community, you can add that text to existing graphics in order to accommodate your community. I hope that answers that question.
That's awesome. Remind me, are like the fonts available in there so you can kind of mimic the font? Okay.
Some of them are, some of the fonts that we've used are, there's a cost associated with them.
Sure.
But we always make sure that there's also general fonts available. That's part of the resource guide. It'll list the fonts.
Okay.
Thank you.
Of course.
We have a couple of really cool program ideas going in the chat.
I'm getting so excited. Look at
one that came through to host and panelists sounds great for the farm year. Like plant a salad program. So you plant the lettuce and the carrots and I guess whatever. I don't really eat salad because I'm not a rabbit, but you know, whatever else you might put in your salad. I'm just kidding about that. Plant salsa, plant soup. But that's got some really nice
got me
earthy
a pizza planter, and it was like tomatoes and basil, and so like, you know, if you're not a salad human and you're a pizza human, like you could still use the same general concept.
Yes. We do also have a couple of really fun animal themed taglines coming through. You oughter be reading, which is almost as good as Barn to Read. Again, I do also have to say, someone very wisely pointed out that those puns are really hard for little kids, and they're not wrong, but I'm really enjoying them.
They're also difficult to translate sometimes because it's based on, you know, homophones. So so we'll, you know, we've been able to do it in the past. We'll see. But you know, that's been a thing that has made us have to kind of adjust our focus for themes and taglines previously, is it just doesn't translate. So
yes, that's a good point. Yeah. Very, very nice considerations there. Okay. I haven't seen too many other questions. Janae, do you want to take a minute? And if people do have additional questions, they sure can. But in our last 10 minutes or so together here, do you want to take a minute to talk about all of the summer training opportunities we have coming up in addition to this webinar?
Absolutely.
All right. Sorry, I've got too many windows. Can y'all see my screen okay?
There's a little part that's bold.
There we go.
Oh, there
Is
was
that
black.
better? All right.
So we are planning on having some summer reading workshops. So just watch for these upcoming learning opportunities. So early November, I will record a kernel to show everyone how to download and use the resource guide as well, just so that way everyone feels comfortable with downloading and accessing the code and making sure that they can access the resource guide and the graphics. So I plan to record that early November and have that up as a kernel. So once I get that out, we will let you know. So November 29th, we are planning for an early bird summer reading planning virtual training. That'll be 9:30 to 11:30. We will have that up on Iowa Learns as soon as we get it. But we will go over some of the fun activities that you can do for summer reading. And then we will also have a session where all of you guys can bring your old task list or task sheets, things that you did at your libraries, and share with other libraries who are wondering, how do I track minutes? What did you do for prizes? Bring those ideas, bring things that you did last year, so that way everyone can learn and share together. So that will be November 29th. December and January, this is new and new for me. I am going to have open office hours online via Zoom to discuss summer reading program ideas. So if you're stuck and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing, I just don't know, help, come to the office hours open forum. I want to be able to help you and guide you, and maybe you can learn from all your other colleagues who are in the same boat, or hey, they've got a great idea and they want to share it with you. So that will be coming down the pike. So look for the PopYS newsletter, because it's going to have more info about that. January 30th, we will have the adult summer reading programming workshop. So that way you can have lots of ideas, activities, things you can do at your library for adults. And let me pull up did we confirm the time on that, Sam, for January 30th, or is that still being discussed?
No, we don't have a time set for that one quite yet. So hang tight.
So hang tight for that, but plan for January 30th for the adult summer reading program workshop. February 1st, we will have the second just-in-time summer reading planning virtual workshop. So that way you can, again, have more ideas. We'll have training. We'll have the training on how to do the different activities from the manual. And then you can bring your own ideas and share with everyone, because let's face it, sharing is caring. And then April 10th, we will meet in person for a summer reading summit in Ames. Again, more information is going to come down the pike. So look through Library Talk, look for your PopYS newsletter, because stuff is going to move very quickly. So
yeah. Let me just say one thing about the November 29 and February 1 sessions. We sort of went back and forth on what to call this. We know different libraries have different needs for their summer training. Some of you've got things to get into marketing departments and, get to printers and all this other stuff. And so we wanted to have something really nice and early for y'all to sort of begin to dig in. Some of you don't have a marketing department, but you really love getting summer knocked out of the way before the craziness of the holidays sets in, or at least you're starting to think about it. And then there's others of you for whom that's just not a great option. Maybe you don't care about marketing quite so early. You don't have some of those other demands from other folks in your library. Maybe you're like me and just really love a deadline and a crunch. And so you're not even ready to think about summer until much later in the planning process. And that's fine too. There's nothing wrong with either of those, but that's kind of why it's different than what we've done in the past. They're very much spaced out. And we're hoping those office hours in there are a great way for you to stay in touch with others who are planning already. Maybe come to those office hours and just use that as an excuse to, like Janae and Becca said, read the resource guide, spend some time with the resource guide, hear what other people are finding helpful, begin to contribute some ideas of your own. So that's kind of our thought behind why we set it up the way we did this year. There is not going to be one in each district this time. We'll be busy with the Pop YS Con that's happening right before the summit. That'll be April 8 and 9, that conference. And so we didn't want to have that added pressure for us to travel around to every district when we've already got a really busy spring. So plan to come to the conference, plan to come to the summit if you really like an in-person idea. But that in-person thing will be great for, and I apologize, I can't remember her name, who said she was brand new and like just really getting energized about summer, really thinking about summer in different ways. By April 10, it might be a little late to be planning some really theme-specific things, but we know there's going to be a lot of great stuff to still talk about that late in the planning season as well. So that's
It's
what
going to be amazing.
we're doing. I think it's going to be good. I'm excited to try it this way. I hope it clicks for you guys. We'll publish these dates anywhere and everywhere that we can. So just, and of course, registration when they go live and all of that. So just be on the lookout for that in the next few months as well. Couple last things to plug, huh, Janae?
I know. I've been the go-to girl to plug a lot of stuff. So,
yes.
So upcoming events coming down the pike, October 24th, November 28th, and December 19th are the next Check It Outs. That's going to be from 11 o'clock to noon. For those of you who are new to Check It Outs, what it is, I book talk at least 28, 30 books within an hour, from 0 all the way to age 18. And we give away prizes as well and share collection development tips and tricks. So sign up on Iowa Learns for that. And then next month is Pop YS Live, Reader's Advisory for Kids and Teens. That'll be November 8th from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock p.m. We will have a panel to discuss with me and you guys about how we give Reader's Advisory service for children and teens. So definitely you want to come to this event. We've got some cool panelists on tap to talk with you guys and myself. I have some resources to share with you guys as well. Don't want to miss it. Lots of fun stuff. Register on Iowa Learns. Wow. And that's it.
Oh my word. I want to go. That sounds so rad. That's amazing. There was a question in the comments really quickly that I just wanted, it made me remember. So in 2024, you'll see with the art that things are just a little bit different. We are no longer designating art by age level. So we had the artists think about a particular age level when they were creating the art. But we've had a lot of feedback from people that are like, oh, I work with kids, but I really like the teen art. And we wanted to make sure that people understood that, again, like it's a manual, it's not, or it's a guide, not a manual. So like, you don't have to use the adult art for adults. Like if you think that the teen art is going to work better for adults, if you think the kids art is perfect for all ages, there's no rules with how you use the art. Also, like when we're talking about taglines and stuff, there's no rules there either. Like if you feel like Read, Renew, Repeat isn't quite right for your community, feel free to change it. We're fine with that. It's really up to you. What we want is for you to have the most successful summer reading program for your community as you possibly can. And only you know what that looks like. I don't know what that looks like for you. So I just wanted to make sure that I said that, because it's a slight change from the resource guides of the past. Also, I don't think it was mentioned, but we do have a Facebook group. If you are still hanging out on Facebook, we will have a specific group for 2024 where you can do some brainstorming and share some ideas. Our publicity coordinator is working on that now, so that should be up really soon. Again, you'll see that in the newsletter, the iREAD newsletter, when it's available. And oh my word, like drop in brainstorming hours. That's amazing. Like your team in Iowa, man, you all are so lucky. They're so good. And I'm just like, I might steal that and because I think it's really cool. And I think it's a really great idea. Okay, so Emily, you'll also see that, thank you so much for your feedback. Totally appreciate it. We have actually the artists that we showed you. So Holly, James, Jason, Zoe. We threw in some of the art from 2022, Zach Lerner's art of he did a bunch of the kind of like woodland creatures. He has a really cool like raccoon and some other things. We also have Patrick Gerard's art, which is he's an artist for Highlights magazine. We've been working with him for years. I think if you saw his art, you would recognize it. It's like kind of the joyful little kids, very cartoony looking. We have all of his art as well. So I think this year you're getting art from 6 or 7 different artists. So I really hope that between all of it, it's gonna work for you. I know we had a lot of feedback that there wasn't enough of the Michaela Goad stuff, which we heard and we understand. And so we want to make sure that you have what you need to make your very best program. So hopefully when you see all of that, you'll find that you do have plenty to work with. We actually added some additional art for Zoe also, because I really loved the characters on her poster and they were not included in the spot art. So we made some little spot art with that too, that we just pulled out of the poster. So I think you're going to have a lot of options for 2024. And that's something, we definitely heard the feedback from 2023 that, there were some additional images that people would have liked. And so we're trying to accommodate that moving forward. So thank you so much for that.
Thank
Well,
you.
that is great.
Thank you so much for that clarification. We really do appreciate it. And I want to interject something really quickly because I know we're down to a minute. I am creating a Pinterest page. A lot of you said, yes, I love that Pinterest page Jay made. So yes, that is in the works as well. It is not up yet. It's in secret mode. So it is not up yet, but I have Pinterest spreads for adult programming, teen, tween, elementary, and pre-K. So I want you to know that's coming down the pike as well.
Well, really great. You guys, we have so much to look forward to. What a fun summer we're going to have. Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Becca. Thank you, Janae. Yeah, this has just been hard to believe it's summer, but we're very excited. So thanks, everyone.
One more question. Lorna says, and Canva. Yes, I am working on Canva sheets, like bingo spreads, all of that. So yes, I am on it.
All right.
Truly,
well, you all have a great.
So lucky.
You guys have a great rest of your afternoon. I have to give up my Zoom room for another meeting here, but you guys know how to get in touch with us if you have any questions. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one.
Thank you.